Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of 7 Minutes. I am your host, Chris Wright. My co-host is Beverly Swim.
Hello.
And today we're so excited. Today we have a guest, Miss Cathy Cooley. She's a licensed associate broker with Howard Hanna, and she also has the Cooley team, which is amazing. You've been in this business for over 35 years, and you have an amazing team. You were the #1 team in the Capital Region for Howard Hanna, right?
I was, yes. This year and
Yeah.
last year, it's been amazing. They have worked their heads off. We do as a team. We have an incredible admin as well. And I feel very, very lucky to have them working with me and me working with them.
To 2022, you did $51 million in volume.
This is correct, yes. And we helped 121 different groups of people either sell their home or purchase a home as well.
Now, while some of you may sneeze at that 121, if you do the numbers, that's like $420,000 per transaction.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Right? And it's like, when you're in this business, that's the type of client you want.
Well, thank you, because let me tell you, it's taken a long time to hone all of the services that we offer. And I'll tell you something, if it wasn't for the team behind me, I always say it takes a village and it is a team effort. So thank you very much. I appreciate that.
So
that was actually one of the things I wanted to ask you about.
Yeah.
Because most real estate agents really dream about having a team. When, how, why did you decide to start your team?
I started a team many, many years ago. I actually started with an admin a little earlier than a lot of realtors did. But again, I've been doing this for a long time. And I took on my first team member about 20 years ago. And it was honestly because I wanted to be able to service any of the clients I had as if they were the only clients I had. And with that, thank goodness, I'm one of the lucky ones to say business was growing and booming, that I needed someone to help me out. And so I started adding different realtors along the way that we knew would fit into the culture that I was trying to emulate with our excellent service and making sure that we keep current on all technology and so forth. So we run the gamut. It's wonderful because my team is somebody in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. It's really incredible. And that way we cover all the people coming up and all the people, first-time home buyers and all the ones, the empty nesters moving down. We run the gamut, and it has worked out beautifully after all these years.
Oh, that's wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I think I saw a fun fact. You've worked for 3 different brokers, but they were all in the same building?
Yes.
How is that possible?
I started out with a boutique, a very high-end, beautiful boutique company called Blackman and DeStefano. And it was, Bob Blackman and Paul DeStefano. And it was at 231 Delaware Avenue, the old Victorian building. And then many years after that, Realty USA bought us out, and I stayed. And then I want to say five years now or something, Howard Hanna came in and bought Realty USA, and I stayed. So though they expanded the building and I have a gorgeous shiny office and my team is upstairs in a great space, a very nice contemporary space, I'm in the same 231 Delaware Avenue as day one of real estate.
Wow. And so how many real estate agents do you have on your team that are actually selling or listing?
I have myself, 4 others, and then a full-time admin.
Right. And so are you a part of the training and mentoring?
Absolutely, positively. There's no question. Today, as a matter of fact, was our first team meeting of 2023. And in there was, it was a good 2 hours. We could have stayed for another hour easily. And it was talking about recapping 2022, what's going to happen in 2023. And we all know there's going to be a big shift. So we had to discuss that, as well as just making sure everybody knew how much I appreciate everything that they have done for me all year long. And we did have a great team dinner that did that too at the end of, the holiday season. But honestly, today was more making sure that we are going to keep moving forward. The goal is always to stay one step ahead. You want to stay ahead of your clients. You want to stay ahead of your customers. We're the ones who know the real estate. We're the experts. We're the ones who have to keep up on the knowledge. We have to be voracious readers and make sure we know what's going on in our local market, global market as well, because we have people coming in from all over the country. And I love when we have out-of-towners coming in and I can speak to their market in Boston, in Miami, in Maine recently, in Texas recently, and then related to our market here. So being the area experts is the key. And the way to do that is, as I said, to keep up on all current, not only market trends, but making sure we always keep current with all technology and so forth to provide the best for our buyers and sellers.
It
Wow.
sounds like your days are really full then. First question is, what are you going to do different in 2023, considering things are changing and there's still low inventory?
Such a great question. In fact, one of the things I said to my team today was next time we meet in February for a monthly meeting, I want everybody to come back with 5 things that they're going to do differently.
Mm.
And those things do have to do with making sure that we keep current with what's going on in the market. That
Mhm.
shit is very, very important. Right now, we have to make sure we get back to people quicker. Though we're so fast right now, but I think so. But we have to make sure that we stay on top of everybody. Listings are the key to staying in real estate. I think we all know that. And anybody who's a realtor and listening to this, you have to list to last. So it's very important to make sure that when you go on that listing appointment, you have really honed that listing
Mm.
presentation. I'm sorry. And so what we're doing right now is focusing on updating ours to make sure that we have new language to use so that everybody knows what to expect. Everybody's very quick to read everything about when the market is going up. And they're also tainted by all of the real estate shows that are on TV. So we're here to bring them back to reality and let them know that you may not be paying attention, but things are shifting. And I know you don't want to hear it. And you might wish you sold your house last year or the year before, but you're not. So let's just get to reality right now. It's our job to educate you, to still get you the highest and best we can with a qualified buyer. And that's what we try to preach.
So, talking about the team, I love this team conversation. There's a lot of real estate agents say, I would love to work with Cathy Cooley, but Cathy Cooley doesn't want to work with everybody. So how do you select the agents that you want to work with? What are you looking for in that agent?
All these questions are a really good question. Right now, I am not looking to add anybody to my team, but I do want to tell you, I get about a weekly call asking me if somebody can.
Right.
And I feel so badly when I say that I'm not adding anybody right now. I'm very comfortable where I am right now.
Mhm.
And I think my team members are as well. But I will tell you that within my own office or my own company, I do mentor a lot of people. We have new realtors, somebody brand new, as a matter of fact, and she has come to my office at least 3 or 4 times by now for an hour and a half each. And we have lovely long conversations about what I think she should do to get moving and going. I said, you're like an adjunct member of the team, I told her, in the sense that I'm happy to share all my tips of the trade. She can come on a listing appointment with one of us. I'm happy to go on anyone's with her. Obviously, our manager is there too, Jessica, who takes care of everybody. But there is no question that as being somebody who is running, a team, they do have a lot of questions about that. And it's always my pleasure to open up that door for anybody.
What's the one tip you would give to a new real estate agent that's just entering the market today?
You ready? Exactly. Okay. Number 1 tip. Let every single person that you know that you are in real estate. Let every single person you know. That's my number 1 tip, I say. I don't care who it is. I don't care when it is. You let them know. You get a database together. You get that first mailing out. You start calling. You start dialing. You start texting. You say, hello, I'm doing this incredible thing and I'd love your support. And even if I'm new, I promise I'll have a team behind me. It doesn't have to be an official team, but a team behind me, and I work with a top, producing realtor and realtor team in my office. And I am here to do anything for you. But if you don't tell them you're in real estate, no one's going to know you're in real estate. That's my number 1 tip.
That is very, very true. That is very true. Now, you know what? The reason we don't interview a lot of real estate agents here and there. We interviewed Brian Brosen recently, right?
Yep, my good buddy.
Your good buddy, right? So, and the reason that is because to me, not all real estate agents are interesting because I'm in the industry. So that's kind of funny.
That's funny you say that.
Right. So I want to ask you, every time I see you, I say, I want to interview Cathy Cooley because every time I see you, you got this beautiful smile on your face, the one I'm looking at right now.
As do you.
Thank you. We're having fun. But you go to a lot of realtor events like broker open houses. And if you can make it to some of the events that we have in the area, you seem like you're enjoying what you're doing. How do you continue to enjoy this after 35 years? Because I see some agents who've been doing it for 5 to 10 years and they go, Chris, I'm beat down. I don't want to do this any longer. So what's your secret for lasting this long?
2 things.
Yeah.
I have the patience of a saint. You ask anybody that. and a sense of humor, what you
Right.
just said. You have to be able to turn around and go, oh my goodness, sometimes, but you have to go out with a laugh, okay?
Yeah.
There's that guy, I'm sure you follow him, called the Broke Agent.
Oh,
And
yeah. He's funny.
Oh,
He's
he's funny,
hilarious.
right?
Yes.
By the way, every time I see you, what do? We hug, we kiss, big smile on our
Yeah.
face, and what's going here, and what's going on? So
Right.
I say the same about you. But with that said, I laugh at this Broke Agent because he says the things that we want to say.
Yes.
If you're able to have a group of people that you can vent to, because you have to sometimes, to talk to discuss things with, I'm telling you now, patience, but a sense of humor are the key. There was something that you asked in that thing about if you wrote a book, it would be a book similar to that Broke Agent, because it would actually make fun and be cynical and be sarcastic about so much in our industry. That's one of the things that keeps me moving, because you can walk out of any house or any appointment and go, oy, 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 you can. But then you know what? It's my nature. This is who I am. I got it from my parents. I come by it very naturally. It's in my DNA. I just am able to move forward all the time, even when things are thrown, curveballs are thrown to you. And I think what I tell people is you can't take it too seriously. You have to be able to handle rejection. If you can't get over within 24 to 48 hours, maybe it's not the right business for you. So these are the kinds of tips I've learned from my mentors over the years, my past managers over the years. And I don't know what it is, but I'm telling you, Chris, right now, when someone calls me and they want a brand new buyer, or I get that call that someone wants to list their home, and I get that call that says someone's going to put an offer on one of my listings, I still am like, I'm still as excited today as I am day one. I don't know why that is, but it is.
That's
and when
awesome.
when that fire starts to lessen and you know, be a little less shiny, maybe it'll be time for me to do something. But right now, it's still hot.
Great.
What do
Great.
you do to relax?
What do I do to relax? I go. Such a good, I'm a voracious reader, just so you know. I also love to watch my TV like a lot of people do. We travel, not as much as we used to, you know, since COVID, but Florida is a place that we go several times a year. My family is number one. So being with my family and then my friends, that's what we do to relax, whether it's one dinners or just being with our family.
Your cover photo on Facebook, the family, that's a beautiful picture. Is that your
thank
is that your immediate family, or is that an extended family? Okay.
My immediate family. I have a daughter, one daughter. She has two little girls herself, and then my son and daughter-in-law. They have a girl and a boy, and they're in Atlanta. And about a year and a half ago, my daughter, who's been living in New York City at that time for 18 years, her and her husband decided to move back to Albany. So now I have in Slingerlands 2 of my grandchildren. So it's been really a treat. So the picture you saw was my husband and I, my daughter and son and their families. And it's really,
it's a great picture. It's a great picture.
Thank you. I
And now,
appreciate it.
are you from New England? Are you from Massachusetts?
I'm from Connecticut. Yes.
Connecticut. Are you licensed in Connecticut or Massachusetts?
No, I'm not. I'm only licensed in New York. People ask me that all the time. If are you going to get your license in Florida, since that's where you vacation and so forth. But no, this is it. I'm going to stay in New York until I don't sell real estate anymore. Let's put it that way. So I don't need to pick up, because I have a lot of friends who have their Florida license and are coming back and forth and so forth. But I don't do much in Mass. And if I do want to do something, go over the border in Chatham or this or that, I just deal with a realtor over there. Kyle on my team actually has her license in Columbia County. So when we need to do something there, but I don't do anything over the border. I just refer it to friends. I have friends who are realtors in Massachusetts and Connecticut that we touch, and Rhode Island, which we don't touch, that, you know, I send referrals to, and they send them to me as well.
That's awesome. You know, you mentioned 3 things. So now I'm going to ask you, what's your top recommendation for a TV show, for a nonfiction and fiction book?
Oh my goodness gracious. Hug Your Customer. Okay. This is a great book. It's called Hug Your Customer. And this is coming out of blue, and I can't believe I'm just pulling it up. It is written by the man who owned, his last name is Mitchell, owned a store called Mitchell's in Connecticut. And it is the Barneys of Connecticut. So the largest concentration of Fortune 500 CEOs live in Fairfield County, Connecticut. And so his store would rival any of the ones in Manhattan. He wrote this book, Hug Your Customer. It is one of the best how you take care of your customer with excellent service than any book I've ever read. So that would be my service one, my nonfiction. okay?
Mhm.
My fiction, I'm going to have to think about, okay? Because I'm reading a book right now about the Connecticut Shore, and I can't pull up the name on the top of my head right now.
Okay.
In terms of television, I am a comedy freak, but I also like dramas and so forth.
Why am
And
I not surprised?
I love comedies. So you get me anything where I'm laughing, like a crazy girl. I just love it. So there hasn't been any great new one like that out lately.
So
But
what's your favorite?
you give me a Jim Carrey movie or something like that. I mean, it's just, I can't get enough. Or everything from, what was it with Ron Burgundy? What was that called?
Anchorman.
Anchorman.
That is hilarious.
That's this silly mind. I
Mhm.
just can't get enough of those things. But I'm a binging person now on
Yeah.
Netflix. I'm doing that now. And I didn't do it before. So I like everything from Jack Ryan to Bad Sisters to The Crown. I run the gamut on all those things.
Yeah. So you seem to have some life balance.
I try to.
How do you do that? What's your
Well,
trick?
I'm a very organized person. I am very organized and very scheduled. So every night, I mean, I use my phone calendar, but every night there's a list of what I have to do the next day. It's the top. This is how it runs. The top is what has to get done. It has to get done. There is no question that's not going to get done that day. And then the bottom is the things I'd like to get done if I can. And then in the middle of that, if you can, if it's not a work day of all day long, which today was, because I did have my team meeting, then I did go to one of my colleagues' brokers' open houses. Then I had a listing appointment and I ran back in this house after I just listed a house that will come on in about a week or so. And it's going to be gorgeous. And Kyle was with me on that one. And now I ran into the house to talk to you. But tomorrow I'm going to have coffee with a friend, but I also have another listing appointment and so forth and so on. You just have to schedule it, look at your calendar, see what you can fit in realistically with a cup of coffee and a lunch, not just with your friends. You asked me before, I love Mahjong. I love it. I don't just like it, I love it. And I learned how to play Nasta as well. And so my group is not regular, which is a shame. We were trying to play once a week. That did not happen. But every other week we're trying to get together for a Mahjong game and a little bit of canasta. And I love that kind. Again, moving forward, learning, whatever it is to keep your mind, going. The other thing is that I'm doing, and you asked earlier about what we're going to do different in 2023, is that the Howard Hanna, for me and specifically, and every company has their own dashboard with incredible functions and features that they can offer to you, that you can offer to your clients. We as a team are going to be exploring those bigger and better this year. That was one of the things we decided today. And that's going to be another new learning curve for me that I will be tackling literally starting tomorrow.
Cathy, do you have a coach?
I do not have a coach.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I don't.
Sometimes I find that, high performing people will still maintain a coach and you don't have one. Now, but are you a coach to anyone else?
I am not a real coach to anyone else, no.
Okay.
Do I get phone calls every week from realtors from outside our company as well as inside our company, asking questions and advice? Absolutely. So I'm a little baby coach when it comes to that. But no, I don't coach anybody. Again, a little bit of a mentor for people. Oh, my phone is always open. My phone number is there. I give it to everybody new in my office. So anytime anybody wants to discuss something, and I don't know if you find this happens, Chris, but I answer my phone every time.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't say scam likely on my new phone.
Right.
But and how surprised people are when I answer my phone, quite frankly.
It is surprising, right?
That when people say that to you, and I'm like, why? You're calling me. I mean, if I'm busy, I can't answer my phone, but it is nice to hear that people actually get surprised by that.
I hear realtors actually go to one extreme or the other. I never answer my phone, or I always answer my phone.
I always answer my phone. Yeah. When, as I said, you're in an appointment, I can't get the phone at that point. Even then I do try to hit the button that says, can I call you later? But generally speaking, I get my phone.
Yeah. So here's a fun question. Cathy, what advice would you give 18-year-old Cathy?
I would give 18-year-old Cathy the advice that take care of your body and your mind, because that is the one thing that can get lost in the shuffle of your life. Because I have to tell you, and it's very funny because it's very funny you said that when I read it, because life happens. It happens for me, thank goodness, knock on wood, very good. you go to college, or you go on to a different kind of study or a different kind of program or a learning something that you're doing. And then you get a job, and then you get a family. And sometimes you get a little lost in the shuffle and you forget. And as Ferris Bueller said so eloquently, life moves pretty fast. And if you don't stop and look around once in a while, you can miss it. And what I find is that if you pay attention early on, though, and get used to things, whether it's working out, whether it's doing affirmations, whether it's starting in yoga, whether it's just paying attention to yourself as a human being besides your work schedule, your children, your husband or your spouse or your partner, or whatever the case may be, you just have to always take care of yourself. And it does get lost in the shuffle after a while. So that's what I would tell body and mind, yourself, take care of you.
I always say that is true, because you can't really take care of anybody else if you're not taking care of yourself first.
Absolutely.
What tools do you use? I know you said list, and every person that we've talked to, the high performers, have said list, right, Beverly? Everyone said, I keep list, and that's amazing. What are the tools that you use to stay organized and, help you with your success?
Well, love. I use everything I can in my phone. And once I first went over from using a day timer to my phone, it was a big deal. And I still have people who use their day timers, and they'll say to me, I can't, my schedule's at home. What do you mean your schedule is home? My schedule is right here. What do you mean? You have to go home and check your schedule. It always cracks me up. But then again, not everybody, gets to where they can be and wants to. The list making isn't a joke. I've turned my children into that.
Okay.
Just want to go to that real quickly. I used to leave a list on when the kids were in middle school and high school in their rooms, and it would say, clean your room, do your homework, get ready for this, get ready for that. My son would rip it up and throw it in the corner. And my daughter would hold it up and look at it. And now when I go to my son's house next to his bed, no matter what he's doing, list. We joke about it all the time.
Awesome.
We do a CRM program to make sure that I'm keeping up with people, making sure that I know. In fact, today's another thing we talked about, anniversaries, seeing if we really want to get in touch with everyone on the anniversaries. And that's so easy to do. So we're going to set that up in our CRMs. So we use that. That's one of the big things we do in Howard Hanna. Again, I'm not trying to say, everyone has their own that they use, but those important things to use is what I was going to say. And I think that you have to, I'm telling you, you have to get your mindset into it. Mm-hmm. Because I have the days of holding 25 listings that I did, okay, and mm-hmm. 20 and 30 and so forth, it was like having 30 children. And that's not how it is right now, because now you were selling them all as they came on, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
They used to say to me, how do you keep that organized? I had a whiteboard. I still have a whiteboard next to my desk and everyone has these, right? I also have a copy of you keep it in my phone, but I like when I'm sitting at my desk next to my computer to just look over and there's everything that's going on. And I could go down in my head and tell you every single sale, what's going on, what if there's problems with it, if it's smooth as silk, on and on and on. I think it's just telling yourself, I'm going to ramp up and I'm going to know this stuff. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely tools to make sure you're in touch with people. You keep your database up. That's a big deal. Every new customer you have, you make sure it gets everywhere it's supposed to be. So you don't have to think about it again. Okay, it's just done. You do it once and it's everywhere. It's on every label you sent, it's on every email you sent, and so forth. So when you streamline any of your systems, it's done then. You don't have to do anything anymore. So there's not a million tools I use.
Right. That's great. That's great. So Beverly, ask the final question of the day.
Oh.
Try to always find out what's next for Cathy Cooley.
Oh my goodness gracious. Well, what's next for Cathy Cooley is hoping that we do an incredible job this year, making sure we service all our clients and as many, if not more, as we did last year. But honestly, what's next is making sure that I keep our team whole, because I have to tell you, you're reading it, I'm reading it. Everybody's making fun of, the new pre-qualification letter is a carton of eggs. And yet we make fun of that. And yet there's a lot of seriousness wrapped up in there. Yeah. Because there are so many things happening with this economy, and we can't be cynical about that. Sure. So what's next for Cathy Cooley is to make sure I keep my team grounded, moving forward, and just making sure that we understand what's coming down the pike so that we can keep them moving forward. I don't have an end game yet with what I'm doing because I'm still loving it too much. So what's next is a little more vacation. I'll do that. And perhaps finally taking a little bit better care of my body and mind.
Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming on.
Thanks,
Thank
Cathy.
you.
It was great talking to you and learning more about you.
Thank you for having me. This was really a pleasure. I appreciate it. And you know what? You were right, Chris. I wasn't as nervous once I got on.
I know you wouldn't be. That's awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much. You enjoy the rest of your night, okay?
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.